For more on how members of the community are responding to all of this, let's bring in Democratic Congresswoman from California, Sara Jacobs. She recently got a chance to speak to community members and dine at a restaurant that is dealing with the fallout from those ICE raids. Congresswoman Jacobs, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time. What are community members telling you about what's taking place in their community?
Yeah, so I'm really proud to represent San Diego, a border community, a large immigrant community, and we know better than most how important our immigrants are to the fabric of our society and to our economy. And we had a raid at a local Italian restaurant, Buona Forchetta, during prime business hours. There were tons of people there. The ICE showed up in riot gear. They ended up exploding smoke grenades and flashbangs. And really what the community was asking is, when will this stop? Because this was not about going after violent criminals. This was literally going after people doing their job as busboys, as dishwashers. Almost none of the people in the warrant had a criminal record. We also saw ICE go after people who were literally at the courthouse to do the right thing, to finish the process, and they picked them up there. And so what I'm hearing from my community in San Diego is that they want to stand up for their immigrant friends and neighbors and our community, and that it is unnecessary to have these raids happen in this way, and to really militarize this process.
Yeah, and I want to ask you about this because you wrote on X calling for the president to not send National Guard troops into the city, saying the deployment is an unnecessary escalation. So I guess the question here is, do you support Governor Gavin Newsom's decision to shoot the Trump administration?
Look, I don't think President Trump should have sent the National Guard. It's unclear exactly what authorities he has to do that. And so, I'll look forward to seeing how the lawsuit plays out. We have in the House Armed Services Committee that I'm a member of, Secretary Hegseth in front of the committee this week, and I'll be asking him questions about the deployment of the National Guard, about, other posts on X and other things we've seen about the potential use of the Marines and others, because I do think that this is a really dangerous escalation and is not actually making our community any safer.
So what would be your message to the Trump administration? Because as we're speaking, they are still weighing potentially sending more troops to LA.
Look, neither the mayor nor the governor believe that they need additional support. They believe that local law enforcement and California state law enforcement have what they need. I would also tell them that this is a real dangerous escalation in general, because this is the first time in, I think, like 60 years that the federal government has federalized the National Guard against the consent of the governor. And we see them. We see that the Trump administration is trying to use this to provoke violence, to sow chaos, so that they can have an impetus to invoke martial law. And we as Californians are not going to stand for that.
Okay, Congresswoman Sara Jacobs, thank you so much for joining us on 24/7 today. We appreciate your time.